Welcome back to Wook Plus. I'm Weekend Wook, joined by Kev Great Wendt and Mr. T DJ. So I think we're going to talk about the latest controversy in the jam scene, and that's this.
Wait, there's controversy?
Wait, what?
What? Today? Oh, you mean, yes, today's controversy?
Yeah, so this LP Giobbi, a young DJ that's been remixing dead music, I guess played at Playing in the Sand. I saw a video from her a couple months ago, and I thought it was kind of cool, but like didn't really think twice about it. But this past weekend, after playing in the Sand, the Jerry Garcia account, the official account for Jerry Garcia, tweeted out a video about it, and man, shit just blew up. What do you guys think about it?
I am fine with it. I would not listen to it, but I feel like I've always been about what I call collages, rap, hip hop, where you take desperate pieces of things, put them together, and create something new, like you would with a collage in a museum. So I'm not ever going to pop it in.
I kind of agree with you. I probably wouldn't put it on necessarily, like search it out, find it, listen to it in my car or anything like that. But I'm all for artists artisting and doing their thing. So I think it's different. I think unlike you, like I do like montages, especially when it comes to the visual medium. It takes me back to kind of in high school when like Puffy, Diddy, whatever his name is, did sort of the tribute to Biggie and used the Police song and Every Breath You Take. And it drove me crazy at the time because I was like, this whole generation's going to grow up hearing this as the Police and not referencing the real material that it came from. But then once I saw Sting out there playing with him one time, I was like, well, okay, if the artists are going to accept it and take it, and why wouldn't they, right? They're getting the royalties anyway. But from not a monetary standpoint, but from an acceptance standpoint, you're like, okay, if they're going to allow that and let it reach a different generation and let it become something else, then who am I to be like, screw that? Like, yeah.
I think that's what makes this one interesting, though, because the rest of the Grateful Dead have clearly accepted it, but Jerry not being here, it kind of leaves this open-ended. Would he, and not that I don't necessarily agree that needs to be the justification. I think, but it is an interesting part of the conversation, right? Because you're talking about Sting liking it, but
from his account, which is also interesting, which is sort of like already saying it's accepted and like he's
stamp of approval. It's a stamp of approval.
Completely.
I wonder who's running it, if Trixie or one of his daughters or something.
Like even more so than her being at Playing in the Sand and doing that with them, it's almost more of a, acceptance that it's getting tweeted out from his account and like, hey, this is acceptable from us. And, to that point too, though, I feel like the Dead in general have always been kind of laissez-faire with that kind of thing and like very cool about like the music, they were the ones that allowed taping. They allowed the sharing of their music. They allowed that to happen. I think
Garcia would have smiled politely and been like, cool.
Not my vibe, but go with it.
That's pretty hip, He would have said something like that and just let it go, because hey, him and Hunter always said when we're done with the song, it isn't ours anymore, it's yours. So
which is why they allowed taping, like it's not ours to keep and hold on to, it's yours to enjoy and do something with.
It took them a long time to get to that place, though.
Yeah,
I think it was just a fight that they could never win, so they were like,
we're never gonna
let's make a tape section.
But my question to you, Tim, is if a DJ started doing that with Fish and remixed it like that to a point and was like remixing Joy and like Tweezer and like doing a techno version of that, would it be as big of a deal? Like, I don't know, is it because it's like old heads? Is it because it's the Dead? Like, would it still?
There was a guy that remixed a bunch of Fish songs a few years ago. Went viral on Facebook, and I thought it was kind of funny. Like, it wasn't a great. See, that's the difference, though. You have to do it well. I think just the act of doing it alone isn't good or bad, right? Because I don't give a shit whatever your creative process is, whatever your source material is. It's how well you execute it. And I personally think, even though this isn't my favorite genre of music, I think she does an exceptionally good job with these types of things. The Fish one, I thought it was cool because it was like a novelty thing, but he wasn't as talented. And also I gotta say that there's like an energy and a radiance when she's performing that some people just have really good performance. Like I could imagine being at that whatever, the after show or whatever, and just feeling that energy that she's exuding out to the audience.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, she definitely brings the energy, and she's definitely excited about it. And reading a little bit about her today, like with that Relics interview and stuff, like she comes from a very artistic musical background, went to Berkeley.
Her parents were heads, right?
Yeah, her parents were heads. You know, the producer for Daft Punk kind of met her and introduced her to like turning into kind of the electronic jazz scene and that kind of thing. So, I mean, she's musically inclined. It's not like a lot of people who, I'm going to be a DJ and like start mixing, you know, whatever, and don't really have that
excuse. She plays the synth too. She always has that keyboard there.
And I guess I was reading, she has the solo vocal tracks and not just the tracks from like the C or whatever. Right. So she's able to lay the vocals in where she really wants them and to be able to create that.
I wonder how she got that. Because that's like the master track,
like,
right?
Yeah, through kind of the people she met and through that kind of thing. And I look at it, you know, kind of a lot like editing, video editing is you take apart, you dissect and then rebuild and make it your own and put things where it's not supposed to be and turn it into that. So I see the similarities, and you know, I'm a music file anyway, and I love listening to things, and it's different. Again, I probably wouldn't. Maybe it takes a little bit of getting used to, and maybe after a while you'll be like, okay, yeah, this is cool. I've heard it enough times to be accepted. But
I also don't think it's the kind of music you do throw on in the car or on your phone when you're going for a walk. I think it's perfect for late night, you know,
live,
like when you get done with
full.
a dead show and you're still like rolling and you want something to do.
Right, like, right. I think it's rolling music. I mean, maybe that's what it is to me, right?
Well, talk about a difference though, coming out of like Dead & Co show with Playing in the Sand and that, and then going into that, it's like a complete
everybody's sleeping and they're like, let's do this. All right, well, let us know in the comments what you make of this whole thing. If you like her music, LP, Giobbi, or what you make of it. Like this video and subscribe for all the latest Wook content.